Hello and welcome back. Last time we ended off on an outbreak of influenza. I believe, if I recall correctly, if I remember how to play the game. Log, yes, influenza. Now the way to deal with this is to build something I don't have, which is a hospital. It requires a massive quantity of materials. Good lord, does that require a lot of stuff. It's also kind of big. I would love to build it right there, actually. That'd be so good if I could do that, but I can't. Can I rotate it and build it? No. Can I do something sneaky? Build it here. That's not bad. So we plot that there. We can get a road through here. No, we can't. Not quite. We can get a road from here, though, so it's not the end of the world, I suppose. Can't get one from down there. So the only way from there is straight to the bar. Well, not the bar, the tavern of all places. That needs to be built like yesterday. So I'm gonna say build that. Prioritize building that. So we need stone and we need iron. How many people do we have working here? 8 people in the quarry, 10 people in the mines. I'm going to quickly swap both of these mines to iron. Yeah. Let's see how this works. Bolt speed up. Someone said they wanted to see longer videos. See how I work, so I'm going to attempt to comply to that, although I don't know how long these will be, but I will show a bit more of me actually doing things rather than updates on things themselves. If a certain chunk of the population dies from this influenza outbreak, nomads have arrived. 8, I can't support 8 more people, so I apologize. Especially not when we have influenza. So if a huge chunk of people die from this influenza outbreak and we go down to, like, you know, sub 30, we lose the vast majority of our population. I'm gonna call the end of the town there, even though we could pull it back. It would be incredibly easy to pull it back because we have, oh man, there's sick people everywhere. I can't click on you. There we go. Weave is visiting the doctor. We don't have a doctor. So, do they just stop working when they have influenza? It looks like they do. They just go stand at their house until a doctor shows up. Wow, that's actually kind of... Oh, dear God. That's kind of problematic. Can we... Do we still have builders? Do we still have laborers that are working? Oh, dear. Yep, once they get sick, they just go stand by their house. That's a lot of sick people. Oh dear. Let's pop the log open. Oh dear, Over the Gun is streaming. Someone replaced miner because they died of old age. That's fine. That was that laborer that disappeared. So influenza is actually really bad in this game. I thought they would just get sick and eventually die, but no, they just stop working outright. Okay, stop being sick, or what happened there? Are they just being healed naturally? We haven't lost anyone to influenza. They're very unhappy about this, though. What about you? You're fairly happy. Why are you so unhappy? I'm not sure. They're fairly happy. They're all fairly healthy, considering they have influenza and we don't have a doctor. Which would seem to me like it would be much worse than this, but, you know, what do I know? Hey, merchant. I'm probably not going to get anything from him, but he's got ale. We could buy ale to make people happier, but I don't really care too much about that. I was worried, like, you know, oh no, everyone's going to die, kind of thing, but they appear to be alright. Become an adult, Someone has become a student. Our population is stagnating, which is good and bad. Bad in the fact that it's stagnating. Good in the fact that we are all right on food. Now, I've learned something in my own time, and it's that big centralized towns like this aren't the most efficient thing. We're gonna swap one of these back to coal. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. A hunter has died of influenza. Oh dear. Is it beginning? Possibly. We could be alright for all I know. We have no laborers, though. Let's pull a couple off of stonecutter and miner. Just so we have laborers, because I already run my laborers way lower than I probably should. I'm actually going to remove this as well. We don't need that. Probably put another crop there. And the other thing I've realized is that beyond about 50 or 60 population, you should be moving into crops. A lot of crops. It's, you know, it's not always the best thing to have crops because they produce once a year in large batches, and then the rest of the year is nothing, and then you can have bad harvests and stuff like that, or get events that destroy some of your crop, which ruins your food production, whereas events don't occur for gatherers' huts and stuff like that, but they produce a lot more food. Fishing huts are completely useless, though. Although this one's doing crazy good for a fishing hut. This is usually what I end up seeing is 350 to like 500 for a fishing hut. I'm likely to remove both of those fishing huts and move into not really sure what entirely, but I was gonna say move into either more crops or another bunch of hunting cabins. But what I was saying earlier with the big centralized towns is they're good for markets, because markets are then more useful to more people, but they're not good for the workers themselves. So in this instance, the workers have to go really far from their houses. I can actually click, not that button, where is it? It's this one. I can click this and you can see where people live and where they work, but you can see some of the houses, like this one, have quite the trek from the house to the work area, which is more, and this too. It's more problematic in winter because it's cold outside, you can't be outside very long, but these people who have to walk this far are being much less efficient. This house is pretty good because the majority of its people work right here. So your citizens will swap houses to whatever is convenient to them at the time, so it's not really much of an issue for that, but they have to be somewhere nearby. I keep reading the max size on this. Is it 15 by 15? There we go. I had the dimensions backwards. We'll get some more pumpkins out of that one. Pop that to 10 farmers. 10 farmers should be enough to work that. There's like no houses over here though, so there is that to account for, I suppose. Put one there to leave a space. So build a few houses there. I'm actually gonna, this is probably a terrible idea, but I'm gonna build a couple of houses next to both of these gathering huts. That one I'm probably gonna leave alone for now, because this is gonna cause a massive explosion in population. And by massive, I'm saying I don't, like probably 10 children is massive to me, but I don't really know. So they'll get to work on that. The town, the market won't be able to reach most of those, but I'm not too worried about that. I've also learned that putting stockpiles next to things like foresters' lodges and gatherers' huts and stuff is pretty good, because that means they don't have to walk far to drop their thing off. I don't have any position. Died of old age. Sigh. I saw a complaint on, another person died of old age. Yeah, this is the problem with slowing growth like that. I saw a complaint on, there goes all of our people dying of old age. Okay. I saw a complaint on rock, paper, shotgun. Ooh. I have to swap crops with that one. About how the UI is kind of bad and the game doesn't really tell you anything or stuff like that. And one of the pictures and one of the complaints I noticed was, or read, not really noticed, was that he was complaining about having to manually move people around jobs when someone died. The game says no laborers available to replace when someone dies if you have no laborers. It's fairly obvious that you should probably have some laborers as well below we actually need. Generally you can just use firewood because it's so easy to produce to do this. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to drop both of these to 0. Or all 3 of these actually. Trade out what's in here and then just leave the firewood in here. Oh wait. Alright, well I guess I can't trade out what's in there because once you remove it, it's gone. So we'll trade firewood for 1 seed. Trade, dismiss. Go on your way. Now restock that firewood as they deem fit and we'll put our corn here. 3 different crops and orchards are not very good compared to crops, so I'll probably just remove that. It's not too much of an issue. Eventually we need to build that too. 0 patience. I really need children. Point of, like, I really need children. Because everyone's dying of old age. Actually, you know what, we'll leave one of these up. We're gonna dismantle that one. We don't want that one. Drop the fisherman to 4. And we'll leave the efficient one up, which is this one. That one's only producing 350 food a season, which is nothing. And I'd rather have the extra laborers at the moment to get some of these houses done, to get people moved in. So you can see the farmers are now living over here, which is convenient for them. Another thing that might be pretty good is when building bunches of houses like this for working areas, to build a little storage shed which will store food for them and they can get their food from that. Rather than having to go, say, here or wherever the nearest food is stored, which is probably there because that's what the storage barn is, or the market. I don't know if they'll go to the market when they're outside of this area though. I think, and so did someone in a comment, I think this is the house area that they serve, so houses in this area are served by this market, and they get stuff from outside of that area, you know, wherever it has resources. But, like, do these people go to the nearest food source, which would be the market, or do they go to the storage barn? Because they're not in the market's area. So this area is very confusing to me. We'll just kind of leave it alone. For the time being, I suppose. Have they already stocked up on firewood again? No, it's just laborers are being slow about moving it. Someone was born, became an adult, working as a laborer, student, working as labor, child was born. This is what happens when you build new houses. Children are born, left and right. Did I ever make this a stone road? I did. So that's right, I have stone roads to everywhere but over here, don't I? No, I have a stone road over there too. Wow, I've got a lot of stone roads built, jeez. Didn't think I built that many. Actually, I'm gonna build a storage barn here. I don't know if this is gonna do any good. I'll build a little storage barn and we'll build a little 5x5 stockpile up there. That seems like the next direction we'll be expanding in. I think we'll actually do another hunter-gatherer lodge area over here. Just because that's consistent food. Not actually a hunter, probably just a forester-gatherer. Because hunter, we don't need more hunters' lodges. What we need is sheep. So we can make warm coats, but no one's bringing any freaking sheep. That's all I desire is sheep. What is this? Stone is low. That's alright. I completely forgot we were supposed to be upgrading stone houses in here. That reduces the use of firewood because it's a warmer house. I've learned nothing about whether it reduces food consumption though, so I don't know. It's a thing. Anyway, the influenza thing appears to have blown over with basically no incident, so I'll see you guys when everyone stops dying of old age, presumably.